The dog is the thing we own, he and I. It has been with us through much of our relationship. Many years. We've lived in 4 countries already, the 3 of us. The dog will die soon, and this will make us feel suddenly and irreversibly old.
One shouldn't talk that way. I'm sensitive to that kind of talk. We don't own anything. We don't own any living thing.
They call it adoption now, correct? And, taking your point, yes, the dog wasn't part of a dowry.
Thank you for respecting my boundary.
No problem. Boundlessness is boring anyway. You just end up lying on the couch, eating crackers and blocks of cheese.
You were talking about the dog.
The dog. Right. He's 18 or 19 years old. When they reach 20, they're listed in a table on Wikipedia. But I don't want to talk about the dog.
What did you want to talk about?
Am I imagining this? Or are there very few mosquitoes this year?
Hadn't crossed my mind. But now that it has, I agree. I wonder if it's only here or everywhere or every city in Europe or Spain.
I wager it's the pandemic. Mosquitoes depend on us to feed their young. It is our blood that sustains them. March, April and May, the streets were empty.
Yes, if we were in the lab, you would now point to a chart on the blackboard. There is a line at the top. It reads, primary breeding and reproduction season.
I would definitely do that. Normally, come July or August, in our apartment, killing mosquitoes with a fly swatter is an Olympic event. We award points for successful termination, of course, but you're also graded on technique.
Methinks you ought to dub successful termination, sticking the landing.
That's gross, but poignant, since it resolves to streaks or splatters of blood.
Sticking the landing, he says. Sticking to the wall, more likely.
I don't think either of us have swatted a single mosquito this year.
I believe 2020 is too somber a year for mosquito Olympics anyway.
So you agree? The pandemic is the culprit.
As someone with no scientific background nor data to back it up, yes, absolutely, don't you? Their consummate hosts disappeared into their homes. It gummed up the ecosystem. Their food, inexplicably gone.
And I'll be the one to say it. They dropped like flies. You remember early on, when the streets were dead empty, and the city was so shut up it felt like this fascinating new type of suburb, where we get to look at lots of interesting things, but only from afar. There was that story about Plaza Catalunya, and the carnage. Pigeons and seagulls. The land and the sea collide.
A bloodbath, feathers, beaks and entrails everywhere. The pigeons never stood a chance. And it came to pass that somewhere in the city, a new Jim Morrison was born.
Good name for a fitness center. Jim Morrison.
I'd take the tour and a free class.
Sure, after the pandemic.
Ghosts crowd the old hipster's fragile eggshell mind.